Welcome to another episode of Streetpreneur Podcast, where we go to the streets to bring you the most creative and innovative entrepreneurs and small business owners. Today I have a very special guest. She is definitely the queen of Salon Suites.
Thank you for that.
And she has 4 locations. She's definitely been doing it in the industry for over 10 years?
Yep.
And she's definitely been making her mark in the industry. That also has helped a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs open their salon suites. And today I want to welcome my special guest, Patrice the Pro McKinney, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. No doubt. No doubt. I'm glad you came out today.
Absolutely.
And I've been searching for a while to find someone to be a guest on the show to talk about the salon suites. Okay. And definitely been turned down by a lot of people.
It's all good.
And I want to thank you for giving us a shot.
Absolutely. I'm not too big for anything. So.
Yeah, definitely giving us the opportunity. A lot of ego involved with a lot of people here in the city.
Me, I understand. We in Atlanta, I know.
Yeah, you already know how it goes. So, hey, the small company of the day going to be the giants of tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I definitely won't forget.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your background, and I understand that you moved here from Michigan. Am I correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And you got started in the beauty and barber industry. Just tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. Yep. So I'm from Lansing, Michigan. I went to Eastern Michigan and Michigan State. I actually had the opportunity to go to the league, WNBA. I was a star player. I could dunk and all those good things.
Okay.
And I actually turned that down because the WNBA just wasn't paying enough, just to be honest with you. And I just had bigger goals for myself. Really wanted to be an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Okay.
So yes, packed up literally my entire family, saved up for a year, moved here in 2008. And pursued the barbering career. My mother and my sister were already in the hair and the beauty industry back at home. So I was always just excited and I always had interest in it. I really loved the freedom that the barbers had.
Yes.
And even just the smell of walking into a barbershop. So I, again, came to Atlanta and I pursued the barbering career, went to school, worked overnight at Walmart, and then started my barbering career in 2013.
Yeah,
got my license, yep.
Okay. And when did you decide, when you were actually in the shop and you were, like I said, you were employed, you had your own independent clients and all of that, when did you decide it was time for you to make that transition from hairstylist to owner?
Okay, so actually, I wanted to initially jump out there and be an owner, but I was like, you know what, I really don't know too much about the industry, and I really do want to be a barber, so let me just back up, go to school, get my feet wet, and then jump into ownership. So, correct, I was cutting my own clients, and then I originally wanted a barbershop, but I went to this building and I saw the salon suite concept, and it was on a much larger scale, so they had like really, really big rooms, so you could put like 6 to 8 chairs in there.
Right.
So that's when I first saw the concept here in Atlanta, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's pretty lucrative, and it's less hands-off because it's less management.
Right.
And you allow people to be their own business owners, which is something I wanted to do. So that sparked my interest, and then I started just following this guy who opened his. I mean, from when he got the building to when they taped down the suites, and I just followed every step. And then I partnered with another gentleman, and we opened Synergy Suites in Atlanta, which is still open. We were partners for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And then I branched off and did my own thing, started the Encore brand, and just been going up ever since then.
All right. Walk us through the steps of purchasing the first Encore location, because I already know the first thing is the hardest.
Exactly.
It's the most difficult. You're going to go through a lot of changes and challenges with that. Just kind of briefly tell us the steps that it took for you to open your first location.
Okay, so first thing, I had to have the vision for it, right? So I had to have the confidence that I could do it. And then I had to have a plan. So I had the plan, and then, of course, the next thing is just having the funds to actually open. So I technically had I had partnered with a gentleman on it, and literally the day that we were supposed to sign the lease, he backed out of it. So I wasn't even sure that the landlord was still going to let me sign, but he did. He believed in me. He saw how hungry I was. So that was tough because I had to come up with all the money on my own. So the first location was extremely stressful, from financially to just, there were no courses or no mentors out there for salon suites. It was fairly new. So I was literally learning everything on my own. And I mean,
pure trial and error.
Pure trial and error. Going back and forth to the city. I mean, I literally had to get emotional in the city, in the office, and say, look, can you please stamp my permit? Because I had been going back and forth for months, and they kept telling my architect to change this and change that. So it was definitely discouraging at times, but I was like, I'm too close to the finish line to not finish this.
Give up now.
Literally literally that day they came out, and this guy, I'll never forget, he came out, he didn't even look at my plans, he just stamped it and said, go ahead and start your build out. I said, thank you, I've been here 10 times and for 3 months. So literally had to borrow some money from my sister, friends, and all of that to make it happen, but I'm glad that I pushed through. You know, there were several opportunities where I could have gave up, you know what I mean? But I was just determined and super ambitious. So that's what inspired me to do the course and to help other people.
And what would you say your startup cost was at that particular time for that first location?
Yep. So that first location was a little bit different. It was a medical office, so it already had the rooms. It already had some electrical and some plumbing. So it was a little bit easier to transition it into a salon suite. So that location was about $65,000. And that was, you know, the painting, flooring. We built about 3 of the suites. The other 13 were there. And that includes furniture, permitting, and everything. So about $65,000 for the first location. Okay.
And what makes a great location? Is it just, I'm pretty sure it has to be centrally located in a high traffic area. Does any of that matter with a salon suites, or the people just going, wherever the stylists are, they're coming regardless?
Yep, that's a good question. Yep, it doesn't have to be like a premier location, salon suite specifically, because people who work in the salon suites aren't really dependent on walk-ins. They usually have their own clientele.
That's true.
So you don't have to be on a major quarter. It's what I tell people all the time. But a good location, the main thing is going to be parking. Making sure it's easily accessible, and the amenities, really making sure you have good quality suites, a break room, you know, a clean space, things like that. Okay.
And let's talk about the building itself, acquiring the property. As far as negotiations with landlords, is it best to go with a long-term lease, short-term lease? I know each individual person has their own perception of how they, you know, want to negotiate their lease. Just give them a few tips as far as how to go about securing the space.
First and foremost is finding an experienced professional commercial realtor and not doing it on your own, because they're going to know how to negotiate things like tenant improvement. Tenant improvement is where the landlord will pay you for the build out. So for example, I had a mentee a month ago, we got her $120,000 for her build out. Her build out probably only costs $150,000. So she's only paying $30,000. Of course, in that situation, they want a longer lease, a longer commitment. I typically tell my mentees and my students 5 to 10 months. It just depends on the location. If it's an up and coming location, you want to kind of lock it in. And it depends on what you're negotiating. The more free rent you ask for and the more tenant improvement you ask for, the longer the term that the landlord wants. So it's just all about negotiating. That's why it's really important to get a good realtor who knows what to ask for and what to look for.
Right. And what do you tell your clients as far as the length of time? I know a lot of them want to rush the process.
Exactly.
I want to get it now.
Exactly.
You mean tell me I have to wait a year to get this done? So, I mean, what is I know you have to walk them through that process and, you know, calm them down, let them know this is going to take time. This is nothing is going to happen in the next week or two.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of people who sell courses who say open in 30, 60 days. And I'm like, it can take 30 to 60 days just for you to get the permit, depending on what county you're in.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So there's so many steps to it. So I tell people, I mean, if you find a building that already has some suites that's easy to transition, doesn't require a lot of build out, maybe you could do it in 2 to 3 months. But it could be as long as 6, 7 months. You know, it depends on how fast your architect is, how fast the city is, and also how fast your contractors are. If they have 1 or 2 people or they have a team of 8 people that's doing your build out. So that's why it's important. I tell people to really oversee that stuff and manage that. You know what I mean? Really check in every week with your contractors and make sure that they're moving. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to waste your free rent on the build out. If you can finish early and take advantage of that free rent, you want to do that. So. Okay.
What are some of the tips that you look for in a contractor? I heard a lot of horror stories about contractors.
Listen, no matter what, you're going to have an issue with the contractor, right? So the goal is to try to have as less as possible. So just experience. I would ask to look at some of their work. You know, if they've done a building and you can actually physically go look and see. You just want to make sure that they have experience and not always jump to who's the cheapest, you know, because the cheapest is usually going to come with the most problems. Right. So you want to spend that money and make sure you get a good quality person, because they could just throw it up and then you have AC or electrical issues. Exactly. And you have a lot of issues. So just making sure, you know, try to find someone that specifically has built a salon suite. You know, that's an advantage. But more importantly, just someone who's professional, who has insurance. And also who is licensed so that they can go and pull the permits and stuff for you, because you don't want to be doing that stuff yourself. Okay. And how do you keep your operating costs low?
What are some of the things that you've implemented, you've seen work over the years to kind of keep the operations costs low? And what would you say is the biggest expense that you're going to incur?
Yep. So I look at the budget every quarter, just kind of analyze and see if there's opportunities to cut the cost. It really isn't, because for the most part, you don't have an employee.
Yeah,
so you have
true.
your electrical bill, your water bill, which if you're in a plaza, is typically in the CAM, your Wi-Fi bill, and your trash bill. Right. The most expensive is usually outside of rent is going to be electrical.
Electrical.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, you can't really micromanage and say, hey, cut your lights off at 10 and don't use, you know what I mean?
Right.
You just kind of have to budget everything out. And
what would you say the average electric bill is?
So it depends on the size of the building, of course.
Yeah,
but for example, at our Sandy Springs location, we have 24 suites. It's 4,900 square feet. That is about 1,000. 900 to 1,100.
Right, per month.
Per month, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And licenses and requirements, let's kind of talk about that. What are some of the licenses and permits that someone would need prior to opening or during the opening?
Yep, so the beautiful thing about this model is there isn't any cosmetology requirements, any hair or beauty licensing, or any requirements.
Okay.
Literally anyone can do this.
Because each individual tenant has their own license anyway.
Yep, I like to always compare it to real estate. You're basically like a landlord in the hair and the beauty industry.
Right.
And so correct, every tenant will have their own license through the state.
Right.
But as the owner, you will still need a business license, but you don't need any other professional licensing to get us it's a typical standard business license.
Yeah, LLC license.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And just kind of break down the difference between the salon suites.
Okay.
I know you have estheticians there, or you have people doing massages. What's the difference in the salon suites?
That's a great question. So the difference between a salon suite and a traditional salon or a barbershop is you're more hands-off in a salon suite.
Okay.
So in a traditional barbershop, everyone has the same pricing, the same hours. They sometimes want you to use the same products and all of that stuff because the owner wants to get their money.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more controlled. You have everybody in one space. You have to make sure everyone gets along. Everyone likes the music, the TV. Yeah. Whereas a salon suite, everyone has their own private space, so you don't have to micromanage anyone. You don't have to worry about them scheduling, the hours, price, products, none of that. You literally just give them access to the building. As the owner, you make sure you do your job and take care of the maintenance and stuff like that. Yeah. And then just collect rent. You know what I mean? Just maintain the building. So it's completely hands off.
So there's not a lot of systems. I can't remember.
Systems?
And processes in place to implement, really, because like you said, each person is their own individual business owner. They keep track of booking their customers as far as back end work is concerned.
Yep. So we do have some systems in place. The main one especially is going to be payments. We make sure that's automated. Okay. I mean, I literally make sure everything is automated. I literally don't have to go to the salon suites. Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad and literally just pull up and go and take them something to eat or something. But we have everything automated and we have systems in place. So, for example, we have an app. We have software where the beauty professionals can go and put in a maintenance request, or if they're late, they can make their late payments and their late fees. Our communications are automated. Okay. The entry is keyless entry. So we do have systems in place, and that's why we're able to. That's why it's semi-absentee, because we have those systems in place, and it doesn't require us to be there that much.
Right? Are the facilities 24 hours or?
They are, although I encourage the beauty professionals to try not to work too late for safety reasons. But yes, they do have 24-hour access, because some like to work as early as 5 in the morning, and some, if they're on set or something like that, they may need to work later in the night. Okay. Yeah.
And as far as investors are concerned, people who are looking to do business with you and to open, their own salon suite, would you say, how do you attract those people? How do you attract, buyers and investors who are interested in? Is they just kind of word of mouth hear about you and just contact you, or are they referred by other entrepreneurs in the circle, in the network, actually?
So it depends. So for the franchise, because
for the franchise,
we are the first Black-owned salon suite franchise, Encore Salon Suite. So we're the first salon suite business to franchise, Black-owned. And So that process, we actually have a team. So we have there's platforms and stuff you can sign up for to try to help sell your franchise.
Oh, okay.
So marketing and things like that. Now with the course, which I actually created the first Salon Suite online course, and like I said, I did that because of all my struggles I had, and I saw how many people was interested in this concept, and it was the newest concept, and a lot of people were going to get into it. So I created the first online course. And so with that, I really don't run that many ads, even though I've generated over 6 figures just being myself and just with my content, honestly, and word of mouth and things like that. You know, I have tried the ads team, but like literally no ads team got me any. I've literally done it all by myself. So, but I'm not against ads. So if you find the right ads team, you know, that can help you generate leads. But a lot of it is just word of mouth, hashtags, things like that. And me being one of the first ones to really be out there so people know of me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to date, what has been some of your toughest challenges that you face right now, or obstacles that you see that you've been having to deal with?
Well, as we're growing, it requires me to have a team. A bigger team. So finding someone that we can trust and that's actually going to put in the work. You know, we've been through about 3 employees already, and they just, I don't know, maybe if I gave them too much too soon or what, or paid them too much. But that's the hardest thing, is finding someone to really help manage the franchise.
The day-to-day operations.
Exactly, the day-to-day operations, because I'm at that point where I can't be, exactly. So I have to find a team. So that's been challenging. That's been new for me because it's my first time having to actually manage someone else and trust someone else to replace me. But I'm getting better and better at it, and we're learning it. So
okay. And currently, how many Encore franchises do you have?
So 2 open. We have 4 locations total, 2 corporate locations, 2 franchise locations, and then we have 3 franchises that are signed that we're looking for locations. So they'll be open next year, 2024.
Right. And what's the price?
So the price is $35,000. That's the franchise fee. That gets you pretty much everything you need: the trademark rights, the marketing, the partnership, basically. Because I'm literally going to hold your hand and walk you through the entire process. And then on top of that, there are royalty fees. So each month we take 5 or 6% royalties from your gross income. And again, that's for the ongoing support that you'll have up until you're open, the marketing, the meetings. You know, it's basically like we're business partners. So that's the cost. If you do a multi-unit deal, which my very first deal was actually a multi-unit deal, so they purchased 3 units. So if you do something like that, we can discount the franchise fee.
Discount it down to
correct
100 and something. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, well,
35,000 is not bad.
Yeah, it's not.
35,000 is 6%.
You know, everybody wants to start their own brand, but it's like the advantage of a franchise is they have the systems. You know what I mean? The blueprint. So you're gonna save money, save time, stress, all of that. You know what I mean? So it just depends on, you know, what your vision is. But there's definitely benefits to franchising if you find the right franchisor.
Okay. What are some of your future plans for scaling the business in 2024 or, like you said, the next 3 to 5 years? What are some of the goals that you have in mind?
So I want to continue franchising. I'm not really pushing the franchise as much as I could because I'm trying to find a balance between the franchise and my students and my mentees. So at the end of the day, I really just like consulting and educating people.
Yes.
So overall, that's going to be my plan for 2024, is just really taking that to the next level. And just even outside of salon suites, I just want to be a mentor to people who just want to open business in general. Right. So that's my focus and the shift that I'm going to make for 2024.
Okay. I can see the vision for the Encore Salon Suite School Academy.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I like to be all over the world. You know what I mean? So.
The Encore Suite Academy.
Yeah,
that's the vision that I just just shown to me.
Okay.
With graduates graduating from the course.
Absolutely.
And going out. And like you said, you have everything else in place that they would need.
Yep.
From
I have
financing on down.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm glad you said that. So I have over 100 students now, and literally we offer financing. First of all, we have a payment plan for the course if you need that. And we also have a diamond package where we rebuild, restore your credit, and we get you funding. So literally anything that you need, we can assist you with.
Right. How much is the course?
The course is $16.99. The diamond package, which includes the credit repair and the funding, is $3,000? $4,000. That's correct. Yep, $4,000. The one-on-one mentorship is $15,000, but that's literally me one-on-one with you for 5 months.
Right.
Yep. So I have different options. I mean, if you're already established and you're open and you just need help filling your suites, I have a marketing course, I have a management course, I have an ebook. You can do a consultation. So literally anything that you need to get started, I have for you.
Okay, that's wonderful, wonderful. So there's no excuse.
I literally say that after my post, no excuse. From payment plan to everything you need, one-stop shop. So if you really want to do this, the salonsuitemodel.com, and also I own salonsuiteconsulting.com. So I kind of run both of those websites.
Both, yeah. Okay. And what do you do to relax? You seem like you're a very busy person, and you know, you have a lot on your plate.
I do.
So what do you do to unwind in your time to, hey?
Yep, I'm very intentional with making sure that I have downtime. You know, before I was just chasing that dream and anxiety was high. And I was like, hold on, I'm not even really enjoying this process. So it's to enjoy it. Right. So I'm very intentional with making sure I take breaks, making sure I have everything timed out. Being really organized is what helps me make sure I get my breaks in. So I'm busy, but I'm not like super busy. I don't work like 9 to 5. You know, I work really hard. I say maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. Some days I might only do 2 hours. And then I like to just really, I'm at a point in my life now where I'm really focusing on my peace and my happiness and taking time to myself and my family and friends and all of that.
Things of that nature,
But I pretty much just, I don't really hang out too much. I kind of just sit at home. I'm a homebody. I go to business events, conferences, and things like that. That's about it.
Okay. Customer service. Let's touch on that. I know it's a big topic right now with, you know, as far as critics coming into the city and doing their opinion. Have you had any bad experience, or what do you think when you're dining out, or just give me your opinion?
Absolutely. I mean, I can even stick within the hair and the beauty industry.
Because we got to have a great customer service for your business. I'm sure you've heard all type of,
I've had so many experiences, and it's so unfortunate. People say, well, how do I avoid people like that? And at the end of the day, sometimes you just can't. You know, you can put in as much research as you want with someone, and they can convince you that they're the right person, and they can switch up. So the key is just not to be discouraged. Do as much due diligence as you can on whatever it is. And I'm excited that we have that attention on customer service, because I feel like, you know, our people in particular, we don't understand the importance of that. We feel like because we provide a service, be quiet and take the service. It doesn't matter how I feel, the energy I give you. And it's like that stuff matters. You know what I mean? If you really want to scale and grow, those little things actually do matter. You know what I mean? Some stylists have this mindset, well, it's okay if they don't come back, I'll replace somebody else to come. And it's like having a revolving chair. I tell people all the time, having a revolving chair is not cute. That's not what you want. You want to make sure these clients come back and these people come back, so that now you have a demand, and that's when you can create that waiting list or increase that price and, you know what I mean, and scale. But that's why a lot of people are stuck, and they're wondering, well, I'm physically working so hard, but what is it? It's your customer service. You know, these people are spending money with you. They don't need you. You need them at the end of the day. So I'm glad that attention is on customer service, because it's needed. It's needed for sure.
Has high inflation inflected your business?
It has because the beauty professionals are struggling.
Which area? If you want to elaborate.
Rent. Just rent, on for the most part.
Commercial rent is
commercial
the
rent.
price is increasing.
Well, not even commercial rent. Actually, commercial rent pricing, it has increased, but they're kind of coming down a little bit since COVID. It's like everybody's figuring out working from home. So, but mainly I would say the beauty professionals, their clientele has slowed up. They're being the most affected, which again affects the rent. So, you know, more late payments and things like that, or people may not be able to lease a suite right now. They may need to go to a traditional salon and work from home. So that's the biggest impact.
Okay. And how do you handle, like you just said, a person might have to work from home and like, can you cut me a break this month? How do you handle those type of situations? I'm sure you encounter them probably on a weekly basis or sometimes. Do you show a little leniency, or you just, hey, I'm going to give you this extended period of time to,
It's situational. It depends.
I know it's based.
It depends
case
on the person.
By case.
Absolutely. You know, if it's somebody who's been with us for months and they're never
for some years,
absolutely. You know, I'm gonna work with you. If it's someone who simply communicates, I tell people all the time, just communicate. And especially if you're proactive and you know you're not gonna have rent, let me know and we can plan out something in advance. So I'm definitely lenient, but you still have to kind of put your foot down, especially with people in the industry where we're telling them, come be your own boss. So they're like, hey, I'm my own boss. But And then they'll just walk over you saying that to say that. But it just depends on the person and their communication. But I do my best to try to work with them if I can.
Okay. Any last words of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs who are thinking about getting into the salon suite business or just business in general? What kind of advice? Just drop some gems on them.
Absolutely. I would say, first of all, don't be misled by Instagram, social media that makes you think everything is so easy. It's not. Yeah. Because no one shows the downfalls. No one shows the bumps of the road.
They don't.
So people jump in it, and then they're surprised when stuff happens. Like, damn, I'm unlucky. Why is this happening to me? And they get discouraged, and you know what I mean? So it's to understand it's a process. Understand it requires patience. Yeah. Do your due diligence. I don't care who you know, who you're connected with. Do your own due diligence. Yeah. A lot of people have fear, and I tell people a lot of fear is because your lack of knowledge. So the more that you educate yourself, you'll have that confidence to go into whatever it is that you're doing. Invest in yourself, whether it's a mentor, it's a course, and then just be consistent. Have that lioness mindset. And just keep pushing. You know what I mean? If you work hard every day, it's going to pay off at some point in time. You might not necessarily know how or see exactly when, but it will eventually. So. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I want to thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
I think we answered all of the questions that our viewers wanted to know. I think you answered and covered everything. Is there anything else you want to cover or that you feel like we left
Nope.
out?
Like I said, if you're interested in the salon suite business, check out the salonsuitemodel.com. We have tons of products and resources that you can utilize and take advantage of. How
can they follow you? Your social media?
Yep, social media is going to be sway_the pro, SWAY_THEPRO, across all platforms.
Okay. Well, there you have it. I thank you for coming out to the show.
My pleasure.
And definitely welcome back for Streetpreneur with an update, letting us know any changes or new developments that you have.
Absolutely.
And please subscribe to the channel. And if you're aspiring entrepreneurs, please reach out to her if you want to purchase a salon suite.
Yep.
Or just interested in doing any type of work on the commercial side or corporate end, please contact her.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you all for coming out and watching the show. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.